Hi, everybody. My name is Jennifer Rowe. I'm a certified life coach, co-founder of From Fat to Finish Line, and podcaster. Each week, I will be coming to you answering your questions in regards to weight loss, career stuff, relationships, anything you might need some coaching on. So feel free to kind of drop me a line. My contact information is in the description box below. So, and I hope that if you're liking what you're seeing, please subscribe. Still pretty new, so would love to have you aboard. So without further ado, let's get to our question for this week. Thanks again, everybody who submitted a question. I really appreciate it. It really helps me to know what you guys need coaching on, what you guys want to get some help on. Each week, the questions I do select, I'm trying to select questions that would be kind of applicable to a lot of people. So even if a question might be about something you're not particularly working on, a lot of the advice carries on to other parts of your life. So just keep watching and we'll see. So let's see, we're going to go ahead and share my screen here. So let's see, we're going to choose this Keynote. We're going to go ahead and share it. I'm going to go ahead and play it for you guys. All righty. So as you guys know, and as I've said, my name's Jennifer Rowe. I'm a life coach, and this is definitely my passion to be able to help other people live their best lives and get to their goals. So the question we got this week: I'm so frustrated. I can't get my shit together. I keep trying to lose weight and get back into running, but I always blow it. I just can't do it. It's making me feel like a loser. Help. Well, Rosa, let's talk about this, okay? So many things jumped out at this one question for me. And the biggest issues was the way we were talking to ourselves in this question. Number one, we said, can't get my shit together. Number two, we said, I always blow it. We also said, I just can't do it. And I feel like a loser. And this was like, I don't know, what was it, 3 sentences of a question? And in 3 sentences, we got this, right? So I just want to kind of walk through what we're going to be going through with this question, because the thing I want to talk to you about today is that our words matter and our thoughts matter. So let's get into it. I really truly believe that negative thoughts will rarely produce positive results. Now, some people will say, yeah, but when I feel, really pissed off or down, I get motivated to do stuff. And the truth is that's not what's motivating you. There's another thought someplace behind that negative thought that's saying, I want better, or I want more, and I deserve better, or I deserve more. And those positive thoughts are really what's fueling you forward, not the negative thought itself. So I think you need to be really clear on that, because in the type of life coaching I do, I went to the life coaching school, and we get taught, and I believe this very much so, that your thoughts create your feelings. So whatever you're thinking, if you're thinking I'm a loser, that's going to create a certain feeling, right? Your feelings drive your actions, and your actions deliver your results. And I love this quote from Ford, and I say it all the time, and I've talked about on my podcast. It's in all kinds of materials that I have out there, but this is really the crux of it. Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. And that's what this is all about today. So here we are again, just in case you forgot what she had to say. I'm so frustrated, can't get my shit together, keep trying to lose weight, get back into running, but always blow it, can't do it. It's just making me feel like a loser. Okay, so number one, I want to talk about the word I can't. Okay, I can't is a complete cock blocker. Excuse my language. If you don't like cursing, I'm definitely not the life coach for you, but it's a complete cock blocker when it comes to really achieving anything you're going for in your life. And the reason why is I can't is a shut door. So it's kind of like when you say can't, you just are kind of saying, well, that's it. I can't get my shit together. So why even try, right? If you're going to say something like I can't, I would really urge you to try to switch that word to at least I won't. Because let's tell the truth, you know what I mean? And it might sound a little harsh. When you say I can't, you become a victim. You give up all your power, right? But when you say I won't, even though that's a little bit like a stubborn, like kind of like a rebel-like kind of a word, if you will, I won't means you're making a choice. I won't lose weight, or I won't do what it takes to lose weight. And the thing is when you start to say, I won't, you have now options like, why won't I? You can start to at least ask yourself the question. It's a little bit more empowering. It's a lot more empowering, actually, to say I won't because you're making a choice versus I can't, which just, says that you throw your hands up in the air and that's the end of that. Right. So the other thing is when you find yourself saying something like, I can't get my shit together, okay, you might want to try something like, I can get my shit together, but I won't, right? Because again, now you can push yourself to ask the questions, why won't I? Why am I pushing this snooze button when I know I can get out of bed if I want to? Why am I not doing the things I can, right? Because if you can figure out that why you're not doing what you're doing, then you have a little bit of control over what you can be doing, right? And in the first episode, I spoke about this concept, the now concept, which I love, which is our next obtainable win, right? So if right now you're saying to yourself, I won't do what it takes to lose weight because I'm choosing to not get out of bed, what can you do instead, right? Asking these questions are going to help you to figure out what's going to work for you. Again, I just was speaking about choosing, right? When you have a choice and you make a choice, I choose not to go to the gym, say, or I choose not to eat the healthy dinner that I had prepared today, right? You're making a choice, right? And again, I think when it comes to making choices, you can then at least examine why you're making those choices. For example, in the case of having a healthy meal, you prepared something healthy, your day got away from you and you decide to do a drive-through, fast food place instead, right? I chose to do that because I was tired, I was bored, I was lonely, whatever it is, right? By knowing why you're making that choice means now you could figure out for the next time what not to do. What am I going to do between the healthy dinner I prepared and the fast food restaurant when shit hits the wall? What's my in between? So maybe now you have a plan B. You can get a plan B in place. And lastly, when it comes to I can't, I really like using the term I'm figuring it out. Again, much more empowering, right? It's like I'm figuring out how to get my shit together feels a lot better than I can't get my shit together, right? Because you're again giving your brain a little bit of a road to travel down. I'm figuring it out. I'm figuring out how to drink a little less wine. I'm figuring out how to get my water in. I'm figuring out how to get to the gym. And these are really, really important things if you want to get to your goals, right? Can't just shuts the door, right? So that was one of the things that struck me about your question. And then the next thing that struck me about the question was the term always, right? Hey, I always blow it. Now, I think always is like, to me, like a true power word, right? And if you're using it for good, could be really great, right? Like I always show up for my friends, right? Your brain is, never shutting down the idea of being there for your friends. Or I always figure out a way to get the job done, or I always figure out a way to get to the gym, say. Always in this sense of it is like, I think a pretty good motivator. I think it's really great, a guide for your brain. You're making this subconscious contract with your brain that I'm always going to show up for my friends or what have you. But the flip side of that is you're also making a contract with the devil if you say things like, I'm always blowing it. I always, fuck it up or whatever it is, right? Because you're telling your brain on some subconscious level, we're just going to blow it because we always blow it. And when you say that out loud, Rosa, and you say, I always blow it, is it really true? I want you to ask yourself, is it really true? Everybody, when you say I always blow it, it's usually kind of an exaggeration, kind of like out of frustration, right? So I want you to talk back to your brain and say, that is not true. I don't always blow it. And I want you to tell yourself all the ways you haven't blown it in your life. It's super important to do that because this is the only way you're going to be able to kind of switch this kind of like deep dive, spiral downward into this kind of really frustrated type of thinking, right? And then, yes, we just talked about it, like when you catch how to kind of figure out when you catch yourself thinking about this, how to kind of transition your brain someplace else. And then you might even want to try saying something like sometimes, like, right, instead of I always blow it, maybe sometimes I don't follow through. And again, it's kind of a negative thing. Like I really prefer to be a little bit more of a positive thinker, but I think that even sometimes I don't follow through is a lot less oh, what's the word I'm looking for? Intense. You know what I mean? It takes the temperature down a little bit. And sometimes I don't follow through, but you can also remind yourself that sometimes you do follow through and then figure out what worked in the past and ask yourself how you could try some of those things again. Okay. And then the next thing that really stood out to me is this asshole name calling, right? It makes me feel like a loser. And I mean, you said feel like a loser, but I know a lot of us, like, and the reason why I'm bringing this up, talk to ourselves like this, right? We walk by a mirror and we're like, oh, you're so fucking fat. Oh my God, I can't believe you're such a loser. You know what I mean? How could we have eaten all those cookies again, right? And these words are like unbelievably damaging to us, right? Like it's you're calling yourself name, like you're literally being a bully to yourself. I mean, think about it this way. You have a best friend and she said, I didn't get to the gym. I didn't get to the gym yesterday and I fell face first into a cake. What's the first thing you say to your friend? It's okay. You'll get back on the, wagon again or whatever. You don't say to your best friend, well, that's because you're a fucking loser, right? You would never say that. So we have to be really careful when of these words we're using to describe ourselves. And I think the problem is most of the time we don't even know what we're saying to ourselves, right? So, when I went to the life coach school, we do something called the think, feel, do, result model, right? So let me explain to you. So the first thing when you go to like figuring out like how you're thinking and feeling when it comes to something like this, it's a circumstance, right? The circumstance might have been for Rosa, I did not go to the gym, right? That's really neutral. Like that's not good or bad, right? It's the thoughts we have about that. Sometimes we don't go to the gym and we feel like it was a great decision because, I had to rest my knee and heal, say, right? That's a great decision. But the way we think about it, I'm a loser, is going to really now drive our feelings, right? So if we're thinking I'm a loser because we didn't go to the gym, we start to feel defeated. And when you feel defeated, what kind of actions do you think you're going to take? Feeling down and shitty and defeated, you're probably going to beat yourself up. You might buffer with some food. You might scroll social media. You might have some shame. You might even give up on your goal. And then your result is going to be never going back to the gym, right? Because once you feel defeated about thinking I'm a loser, about not going to the gym, it really does spiral downward. And this is what happens. We get caught in the cycle. And then in order to feel better about feeling like a loser, we do loser behavior, like beating ourselves up and buffering with food and everything else, right? And that's not really loser behavior, by the way. I'm just saying like these are behaviors are not going to serve the results you're looking for. But let's consider, this model where we have the same circumstance, did not go to the gym. And instead, I think it's no big deal. Just go tomorrow. Now how I'm feeling, a little neutral, actually. I don't feel positive. I don't feel negative, like it's not a big deal, right? Like, and I think that a lot of, people have super healthy relationships with working out and food. This is how they feel. Oh, well, they don't beat themselves up. They don't make it mean they're a piece of shit or that they always blow it or they're a loser. No, go tomorrow. Feel neutral. So now your actions might be, we're going to make the plan to go tomorrow. No big deal, right? And the result is we just keep on track. So this is why these words and these thoughts really matter. So when you think to yourself, I feel like a loser, I want you to really pay attention to that. And there's a couple of ways you can start to work on this kind of thought process right now to help you with your goals. Number one, when you don't want to do something, write out why. Why won't you do it, right? It's not about, again, it's not about being can't, right? Won't. Why won't you take the step you needed to take towards your goal? Ask yourself really, really honestly, and then ask yourself, well, if I won't do this, what am I willing to do, right? Because everything doesn't have to be black and white. So what are you willing to do, right? If you won't do that. Question yourself when you hear yourself say, I always or never, never in a negative way, and prove those statements to be untrue by listening to times you were successful. We spoke about this. We were always and never is ridiculous statements to really apply to most of our behaviors. So figure out when it's done in a negative way, how you could prove yourself wrong. Like you don't always blow it. Remember to speak to yourself like your own best friend. You wouldn't call your bestie a loser. We just spoke about this. I think it's like the most important thing. If you hear yourself talking to yourself like an asshole, just stop in your track and think to yourself, would I say this to my best friend? Would I say this to my child? Would I say this to my sister? Would I say this to my mother? And if the answer is no, stop saying it to yourself. And finally, I mean, I think it's important to journal about this kind of thing or talk to someone. For me, like as a coach, I can't tell you how many times I'm, coaching a clients I've had for months and months and months at this point, and they think they have all those negative demons laid to rest, and all of a sudden we start talking, and the shit coming out of their mouths, even they're surprised because they didn't realize it was floating back there. So sometimes you've got these nagging thoughts like, oh, I'm a loser, or I'm this, or I can't do that. I can't do that. You don't even know what's happening because it's just floating around with the million other thoughts you have all day. So take the time to journal, take the time to talk to a friend, take the time to get coached if you can, so you can really hear the shit that's holding you back, and then you can fix for it. So I just wanted to say that, like, listen, Rosa, we are all there. Like, I mean, we all talk to ourselves like this sometimes, and there's no problem here, right? You can get your shit together. You can figure out your next steps, and you're not a loser by any stretch of the imagination. We've all been there. Okay. So just keep on keeping on, change those can'ts to cans, find your next obtainable win, find a little momentum, and you can get to your goals. So if you guys have any other follow-up questions to something like what we're talking about today, just feel free to email me, leave a comment below. Don't forget to drop your questions, because like whatever you're thinking, somebody else is thinking. I'm pretty sure Rosa's question probably helped a whole bunch of people today to just realize what's happening in their own brains. And I appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching, and I hope to hear from you soon. Have a great day now. Bye.